Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you how I made this Love What You Do skinny notepad. These notepads are a lot of fun, and who can't use another notepad on their desk? For the skinny notepad, I've actually taken a junior legal pad that measures 5 by 8 inches and taken it to my local office supply and have had them cut it in half. They'll do the stack of these for you for a fairly reasonable price. So let me show you how I got started. Okay, the first thing you're going to need is a piece of Berry Burst cardstock, and this happens to measure 7 1/8 inches by 8 1/8 inches. I'm going to lay it on my score tool, and I am going to score it at the 1 1/2 inch mark, the 4 1/8 inch mark, and the 4 1/2 inch mark. And then I'm ready to set my tool to the side. Okay, at this point I'm going to bring in my everyday label punch, and I am going to take this smaller side of the scored cardstock and I'm going to slip it in, and I'm going to slip it into about halfway point on those circles here on each side of the label and punch. And now I'm ready to add some adhesive. I'm going to use my tear and tape for this because it's a nice strong adhesive, and I'm going to put a little piece at the top and a little piece at the bottom. And I am ready to use my bone folder now to make sure these score lines are nice and sharp. Once I've used my bone folder and everything is the way I want it, I can take these covers off and adhere. That creates a pocket to tuck some little things in, or sheets that you've torn off your notepad. So let's get ready to decorate. Next, you're going to need 2 pieces of Share What You Love Designer Series paper, and I've cut these 2 1/4 by 7 3/4 inches. And I am going to bring in my Berry Burst ruffled ribbon, and I am going to tie a knot along the bottom here. I'm going to wrap it around the entire piece of Designer Series paper and then tie. There we go, making it look the way I want. And then I can trim these ends to the desired length. There we go. And I'm ready to adjust and adhere. Now I'm going to make sure that I'm putting this on the front of my folder. And you can use the tear and tape if you'd like to continue with that. Or for this one, I'm using the multi-purpose. And I'm going to adhere that to the front. Whoops. The multi-purpose does allow it to shift, which is what I like about it. And then I've got the second piece that I am going to add some adhesive to the back of and add it to the back. There we go. And now I'm ready for my sentiment. I'm going to take the sentiment of my choice from the Love What You Do stamp set and stamp it in Berry Burst. And then I am going to take the little stemmed leaf piece here, and I am going to stamp it using Mint Macaron. And you can stamp off on this if you'd like to, if you'd like a little softer look. And then I'm going to line that up and punch it out using that same everyday label punch. And then I'm going to punch one more label out of my Berry Burst cardstock. And at this point I am ready to assemble this focal point. So I'm going to take my label and I'm going to add a little adhesive down the center and adhere this on top. And all I'm looking for here is a little bit of that Berry Burst to show on these corners. And now that I've got that done, I can flip it over and add some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I want to add quite a few of these because I want it to be firm and stay in place. So I'm even going to add one to the center. Okay, I've removed my protective sheet on the dimensionals, and I am going to adhere this down on top of my Skinny Notepad front, and then I am going to pick up a couple of my faceted rhinestones, and I am going to place them on the bottom and top here using my pick-a tool. I love this little clay end to pick up things like this. Makes it so easy. And I am ready to put my notepad on the center now. So I'm going to bring in my notepad that I've had cut in half. I'm bringing in a piece of my Share What You Love Designer Series paper, and this measures 2.5 by 1.5 inches. I've added a strip of the tear and tape onto both long edges of this so that I will have a great adhesion. And I'm going to take off those protective layers, and then I am going to adhere this to the front of the notepad. I'm going to burnish that real well, wrap it around, and then use my bone folder and burnish again. Now, it's okay if it doesn't go all the way to the bottom. You can cut it longer, but because I plan on adhering this into the holder, I don't need to make sure that the entire back looks pretty. So let me add a little bit of adhesive here, and once again, you could use tear and tape if you want, but I'm using the multi-purpose. I'm flipping it over, and I am laying it into my notepad holder. There we go, and I am burnishing once again to make sure it's got a good seal. And that's it. It's that quick and easy. So let me bring the original in here again. This is the stamped off version, and this is the straight stamping version, so you can choose which you like. If you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.